Hi, I am going to talk about the new silicone surface that is available from Sound Workshop, run by Chris. He has managed to make a completely new surface for the Linnstrument, and the short version is that I totally love it. So this is probably going to be a bit long and absolutely boring if you're not really interested in Linnstrument. I'm doing this basically no script, and I'm not very good speaker, so I'm just gonna ramble on, and I hope it will be useful to some. Okay, so maybe start with a little bit of backstory. 20 years ago, I got a theremin. I realized that unquantized, very, very sensitive to everything kind of instrument was really my thing, and I was pretty good with it. Later, I also got a EU-Wave Persephone, really weird thing, but basically a ribbon controller kind of thing. So I really enjoyed that kind of pitch expression. And when the Linnstrument came out, I think originally I was not really, I just thought it looked super weird and was not. I'm a pianist, and I thought I can't be arsed to learn a completely new system. It turns out if you have any background in guitar, which I also have, then it is not really a new system. It is, as you will know, basically an 8-string guitar in some ways. What happened is that I tried the Rolly keyboard. Long story short, I did not like that, and then I was like, okay, but then my option is really the Linnstrument. There was a discounted one for sale, and I bought that. And I would say I have been very, very happy with that. That is 6 years ago. I bought the 200. And about 4 years ago, I bought the 128 because I was doing this touring project. We played a total of 70 gigs, and the Linnstrument was an important part of that. But I needed to have a Linnstrument here at home in my home studio. So I got the smaller version that you see here. So the thing is, also that I should mention that I was never really happy with the original surface of the Linnstrument, because for like making seamless slides, the gaps between the keys, I found them to be too big, too sharp edged, and they, like, to my ear, I mean, I can hear if I slide on the original Linnstrument surface, then there will be little artifacts. It's audible. And if you look at the recorded data, you can clearly see the little notches. And that was just not, that did not make me happy. So I experimented a lot with different overlays to get rid of the gaps between the pads. I tried parchment paper, various papers, various plastic foils, and in the end, I found that there is actually a product that is the exact dimensions of the gaps. It's these plastic strips that are made to build tiny models of stuff. Anyway, so I used that. I've used that for a couple of years now because I was like, I just want a smooth surface. I don't want notches or gaps or anything. And I think that the most recent iteration of my experiments was to cover the smooth surface with a thin, very stretchy fabric. That's how I've been using my Linnstrument. Also, I have to note that I always play unquantized. It's like the quantizing doesn't do anything for me. I want the raw I have to say, emotion of unquantized pitch. That's the whole, if I want quantized, I play piano. That decision, I would say, led me into the direction of playing, which is like I've pretty much only used it for soloing, like for basically monophonic, occasionally a bit of polyphony, but real polyphonic playing in the unquantized mode is very hard, at least on the original Surface, because there you have like, when you put your finger in the middle of the pad, which is like, there are these square pads like these, and you put your finger in the middle of that pad, then you don't have any sense of where you are. I'll get back to that subject later. So when Chris from Sound Workshop said he was working on this, I was like, of course, I had a natural curiosity about it, but at the same time I was like, okay, but if he's gonna notch every single tone, is like, that is kind of the opposite of what I want. But anyway, Chris offered to send me a Surface for free because apparently he likes what I've done. And luckily I was curious enough about this to say yes, please. I didn't really have any idea that I would like this so much. That totally surprised me. I tried playing it, and the first thing I noticed was, okay, I have the slides, like when I slide, I feel the notches, and I have not felt notches or gaps for several years, so that felt weird for me. It felt like, okay, that's not, I was thinking, okay, that's not so good to feel those. I'm used to a smooth surface, right? Then I was like, but can I hear them? And it turns out I cannot hear that I am, that there's just not enough physical hindrance in these notches to make any effect on the data that is being produced. So it is a smooth glide, exactly like with my smooth surface. And recording and looking at the data again showed I cannot see anything. It is totally smooth. So it is only my fingertip that kind of suffered, like, or you could say the feel that I'm used to something else, and now I got this non-smooth feel. But it is what it is, and as I will conclude later, the good things about it, they are immense. So I'm fine with that. Okay, so what the good things, right? What are they? As I told you, I had really not been playing a lot polyphonically, because with the non-quantized approach, certain ways of playing that becomes too difficult, because with the old Surface and the zero tactile feedback of that, and I'm talking even with the original unmodified Surface, when you are in the center of a pad, then you don't have any feedback. You are just like, it's kind of like standing in the middle of a little square room. You don't know how far you are from the walls. So you can go to the wall and touch it, and then you're like, that's where I am. Anyway, with this Surface, it changes that completely. And I realized that basically I was just checking out the chord structure of Max Richter's On the Nature of Daylight, and I just started playing it on my Linnstrument, and I suddenly realized that that was possible to play this beautiful three voice structure, unquantized, in a very, for me, extremely enjoyable way. Yeah, okay, let's play some of it. And so on. When I'm here, and I need to, from this sixth, I need to slide up to a fifth there, while sliding a minor third down here. So, like, visually, you can't follow either. It's like you have to just, well, this is where the tactile feedback just totally rocks. I can look at my right hand, and my left hand will just find that notch. And that is like, you know, going by ear alone is possible. It's just polyphonic playing in unquantized mode is just a completely different level. If you had a string quartet playing these two chords, that one, then you have a cellist here and the viola here or whatever, and the viola, he would intonate from a bit flat here to a bit sharper on the minor, and you can do the same here. And the beauty of it is because you have this notch in the middle, then you know, okay, this is my like this is a good starting point. And then you can put slight pressure on the downward edge for the major, you know, for the major third, and you can put a slight pressure on the other way for the minor. So here, yeah. What I wanted to say was that with this new surface, that actually helps in musical ways, like this example of minor thirds versus major thirds. That was the polyphonic thing, right? Okay, there's also the thing that there's these raised, I call them strings. I think speed bumps sound a bit silly. For me, they are strings, and by the way, I call these frets. Because, like, why use new words? Because this is obviously a stringed instrument. I have strings and I have frets. That's how it is for me. So now we have strings, and that I have to say I've never really used the y-axis on the Linnstrument on the original surface because, well, it did not seem appealing to me. But now with this, I got curious about how it would be, and to my surprise, I found that it can actually add something. And I've made a slight. I have a kind of a. I think it's a wave folding thing. right? So I can shape my sound like that. So the new thing is when I've gone here, then I can play on that, because like I apply a bit of pressure to the side of my string here. That was not possible before. I mean, you could use the y-axis, but I would just say this new surface just changes y-axis into a lot more pleasurable, useful, and musical thing. So I'm using y-axis now. I've never done it before, or not never, but you know, not on a regular basis. Then I have a kind of very subjective and even emotional thing that I've touched on it briefly, and that is with this concept of strings and frets that I feel is now obvious, like it's staring at me like that. Of course it's frets, of course it's strings. It makes the Linnstrument make more sense to me in a... It's hard to explain how, but it's like the kinship to stringed instrument is reinforced, and it just feels like a mature, full instrument now. It feels whole. The original was a good start. Even I was never satisfied with the gaps in the original surface, and I don't know, this new one just makes me feel, yes, now it's there, now it's done. This is the instrument. And well, that's just me, but I'm just very happy with it. Oh, and then a last thing, the last thing, again, of course, super subjective as anything in this video. I think this is the best looking Linnstrument ever. Like, honestly, if this was the look of the official Linnstrument, if you ask me, sales would go up. I would even say in a far-fetched alternate reality where I would be Roger's business manager or something, I would say to him, go make a deal with Chris. So now I would call this the V2 surface. So the V2 surface becomes part of the official Linnstrument. Sell both versions, and my prediction would be that 90% of new sales would be the V2. So eventually you would retire the original version, but probably still have original silicone for sale separately for those few people who like that one. Cons, is there any drawbacks? Well, there's the one that I already said about comparing it to my modified smooth surface, where, well, yeah, I feel the notches, but they don't do anything bad, really. For the normal person, forget about that. Okay, so for the normal user, is there any drawbacks? Nope. It is better in every single way, if you ask me. It's just that good. So would I recommend it? 100%. I'm just so happy that I said yes to Chris for when he wanted to ship me one. I had no idea what was going to hit me. Thank you, Chris. Thank you. I mean, for pulling off this. I mean, I am amazed that you have managed to do this. And I'm just so grateful, because playing the Linnstrument just really makes me more happy now, and I will very much look forward to getting a similar surface. I know it's going to be slightly different for the 200. It'll have the more like roundish holes, so a smaller bent or notch, whatever. It's going to be very interesting, but blah, blah, blah. End of story. I love it. Cheers.